Nice. I'm just going to do without this one.
Opening the doorway to a non-such to be to a such.
There we go. That's better.
Pre-existence into existence, wonder opens. Remember your cap and gown?
Uh,
I made her stick him in that room, I don't know what it was.
in the bride's room? Okay. I wonder who this is. Okay, versus.
Because we don't have that on Zoom right now. Yeah, we don't have that.
Because you're not in
I
pre-zone,
think
you're in pre-zone.
during COVID, we were just really had a menu. So I think that's what we'll go ahead with. Okay. Oh, here, yeah, I had dermatological stuff. Where, I don't know if you ever have to deal with that stuff or fair
So
skin?
my brother, which was about 2 years ago, almost died of skin cancer, actually treatment for skin cancer. So I get checked every 3 months from head to toe, every
Yeah.
crevice.
Yeah, so I get the stuff, and this one was, they give you, there's
He got Mitch lives up in Boulder, Colorado, and mountain bikes on these glaciers in the continentals of Nevada.
oh my gosh.
And he's got a lot of sun exposure.
Oh,
But what used to be is, oh, that looks kind of interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, so like dermatology was saying, we'll come back and look at now. Oh, that looks interesting. We're taking that off today.
Naomi Levy, I don't know if you know, one of my dearest friends, she lost half her nose
Oh, I didn't know
to
that.
moles. She went in to do it, they just kept going and going and going and going. And it took her months of reconstructive surgery. Yeah, this one, they give you, it's a certain tropical medication you put on, and it
Burns.
yeah, it goes right to the precancer cells.
The targets.
Yeah, exactly, and then it's only, so,
I'm very well familiar with that kind of stuff.
all right. Wait a couple minutes, or
All right.
never had,
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I just wanted to know, I didn't break this.
I almost wrote that on the group chat. What's a light switch tomorrow?
oh yeah, why'd you ask?
Because it was on the schedule. I'm the leader. You're really
Correct.
And he said, you'll be in the chat.
Yeah, I told David this week, so I will,
But you and I didn't know that. And then you pick up, oh, because he likes you better. And he responded, yeah, right.
that would have been good.
So I just want to tell you, I didn't break this, just so you know. But this is a interlude.
Well, yes. So the person to notify for that would be Carlos. Now, executive director, of course, would be a good place to start as well. But facilities issues in general, you should contact, you should make a note, calling the executive director, sending a note to the executive director, Lisa,
Right,
and CC Carlos.
okay. Thank you.
Sorry.
I just want to let you know, like, I didn't break
Yisrael. Bo'u v'neitzeh Shabbat mikrat Malka. All right. There was an email from Bob Epstein about the position.
Competition, not competition. Competence, not competition.
Yeah, well, here what Baal Torah was the one responsible for, the director is, obviously. All right, if you wanna, all right.
Welcome to our evening services. We will begin this evening. Let's begin on page 10 with a verse of Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh al harachaman, Yedid Nefesh al harachaman, Meshochav dach eretz onach. Meshochav dach yalalai eretz onach yarutz avdach kemo ayal ishtachaveh yalalai mul hadarach. We continue. Let's start our Kabbalat Shabbat on page 11 with the singing of Lechuneranena, 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 Ladonai, Lechuneranena, 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 Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu, Nekadma Fanav Betoda. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishenu, Bizmerot Naria lo, Lechuneranena, 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 Ladonai, Lechuneranena, 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 Ladonai, Bizmerot. 40 shakut pador, va'omaram to'e levavim, ve'hem lo yadeu derachai. Asher nishpati ve'apti, im yevon el menuchati. Page 13, Psalm 96. Please join me. Yai, dai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, yai, yai. Shiru ladonai, shir chadash. Shiru ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai baruch shemo. Pasru miyom leyom yeshuato. Sapru bagoyim kevodo. Bechol ha'amim nifleotav. Ki gadol Adonai. Hulal meod. Norau. Al kol Elohim, ay, ki kol Elohei, ha'amim elilim, v'Adonai shamayim asa, hod v'hadar lefanav, hoz v'tiferet b'mikdasho, havu l'Adonai mishpechot amim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai, Kevod Shemo, Se'u Mincha, Uvo Lechatzrotav, Ay, 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 Hishtachavu Adonai, Behadra Kodesh, Chilu Mipanav Kol Haaretz, Imru Vagoyim, Adonai Malach, Atikon Tevel Baal Timol, Yadin Amim B'Meisharim, Yismechu Hashamayim V'Tagel Haaretz, Yiram Hayam, Umlo, Ya'alo Sadai, V'chol Asher Bo, Ay, 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 Az Yeranenu Kol Atzeyar Lifnei Adonai, Kiva Lishpot Haaretz, Yishpot Tevel Betzedek, Ve'amim Be'emunato, Ya 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 la la ya la 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 la, Ya ya la la, Ya la la ya la, Ya ya la la, Ya ya la la, Adonai Malakek Tagel Haaretz, Yismuchim Rabim. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, v'hodu lezecher kodsho. Page 17, Psalm 98. Mizmor shir l'ashir chadash, ki niflaot asa. Hoshia yom ilom shel kodsho, v'tiu Adonai b'shuato, v'nefrayim zikato. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel betzedek, ve'amim b'meisharim. Adonai malak yirgazu amim, yoshev keruvim tanu ta'aretz. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lehar kodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We rise for Psalm 29 on page 21. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod va'oz, ay, 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 Havul Adonai, Kevod Shemo, Hishtachavul Adonai, B'hadra Kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El kavod irim, Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, ay, 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 Kol Adonai be'adar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, V'shaber Adonai et arzei ha'levanon, V'yarkidem kamo egel Levanon, V'siryon Kemo ben reimim, ay, 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 Kol Adonai chotzev lavodesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yacholel ayalon, Vayechesov Ye'arov, Uvecha Kulo Omer Kavod. Ay, ay, ay. Adonai lama buyashav vayeshev Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz le'amo yitein Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom Yai yai lai lai Yai yai lai Yai yai lai lai You may be seated. We continue with Lecha Dodi, welcoming the Shabbat bride on page 23. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, ay shamor v'zachor b'diborecha ishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'liti l'alecha dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Ay, 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 likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha ki mekor haberacha merosh b'kedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshvat tchila Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela ay 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 mikdash melech melucha kumitzei mitoch avecha rav lach shevet b'yemek habecha v'hu yachamol alaychem lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Hitnari me'arfa kumi Livshei bigdei tifarte chami Al yad ben yishai beit halachmi Korva el nafshi ge'ala Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Hitoreri Kiva ore kumi ori uri shiraberi kevod Adonai alayik nikla Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lo tevoshi ve'lo tikolmi Ma tishtochachi u'ma tehmi Vach yechesu ani ami V'nivneta ir al tila Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi li kakala yadadai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi li kakala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi li kakala Pnei Shabbat nekabela V'hayulim shisa shosaich V'rachako komev alaich Yasis alaich Elohaich Kimsos chatan akala Lecha dodi li kakala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Yaminu smol tifrotzi Ve'et Adonai taritzi Al yarish ben partzi V'nismecha v'nagila Lecha dodi li kakala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Boi v'shalom ateret pala Gam besimcha utzala Toch emunei am segula Boi chala Lecha dodi li kakala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi li kakala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. We continue with Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Psalm 92 on page 27. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot la'Adonai, U'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, U'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. Lahagid babocher chazdecha, ve'emunacha balelot, Alei asor v'alei navel, Alei higayon bechinor. Mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, Tov lodot la'Adonai, U'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, U'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. Simchtani Adonai befalecha, B'maaseh yadecha aranein. Magadu ma'asecha Adonai, Me'od amchu machshotecha. Mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, Tov lodot la'Adonai, U'lezamer l'shimcha elyon, U'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. Od yanavu b'seva d'shenim v'ra'ananim yiyu lahagik yashar Adonai tzuri v'lo avlata bo. Adonai malak geut lavesh, lavesh Adonai osita zav. Tikon tevel baltimore. Edo techenem nu me'od, levetecha na'ava kodesh, Adonai le'orech yamim. Okay, very nice.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
The rabbis themselves were always concerned with the attribute of humility. You know that. Who's one of the great humble leaders is Moshe. Remember, he gets called at the burning bush and he says, I'm not worthy. And he has to grow into that role. The rabbis were always worried that their rabbinic status might compromise their own sense of being able to be humble. Right? When people treat you in a certain way. The Hasidic Rebbes were very much like this. They were amazing in terms of understanding that when you insult a person, there's great stories that where common people would insult a rabbi, not knowing he was a rabbi. And they'd say that you have to be able to apologize, not to me, but to the man who was there, that common person. Right? You have to be able to understand what does it mean to be common. In the beginning of our portion this week of Tzav, there's a section which talks about the removal of the ashes from the morning of the sacrifice. So if you don't know, there would be a sacrifice that was done in the morning, first thing, the olah for the whole community. And at the end of the day, there was an olah. It would burn throughout the night. And in the morning, early on, they would, a Kohen was supposed to go and take out the ashes that was left and take them out into a place outside that was makom tahor, that was a pure place. And it's interesting, the rabbis ask, why is it that the Kohen does it? Why not have a Levite? You know what the Levites were? They were the helpers in the tabernacle. They're the ones who really pretty much ran the administrative issues of the tabernacle. And the priests were the ones who got the higher status jobs of offering sacrifices, taking care of everything else. So they ask, why is it that a Kohen would do this role? Well, to understand that, you also have to understand that according to the Mishnah, it's a great section of the Mishnah in Tractate Yoma, where they'd come up and they would want to go to take out the ashes, and they would run to do it, the Kohanim.
They would fight for it.
They would actually eventually fight for it. And the Mishnah describes, if you don't think the Mishnah can have the rabbi's sense of humor, it got to the point that they were running up together, and one Kohen, remember it's a ramp going up, one Kohen pushed another one off, and he broke his leg. That's what it describes. Now, that's not conduct becoming a priest. And from there, they instituted a lottery from then on. But they had to figure out why did these priests want to ascend and to go up? And the idea that the rabbis talk about is that they wanted from the early morning, these priests, that they understood their job was to go out and to begin to serve God. And the first thing that you can do is by cleaning up and taking care of these sacrifices, common work that others might not do, to set the stage for that sense of humility. And they would take off their Kohen clothes in order to do this.
Not only was common, it was a dirty job.
It was a dirty job. So they would take off. You only use your Kohen clothes, if you will, when you're involved in the sacred worship. You took them off in order to be able to take those ashes and then to take them out. But the rabbis continue to try and get lessons from these actions of the Kohanim. Question mark?
No, did you know that sacrifice has fire backwards? Sacrifice, fire back.
Sacrifice and fire is in there as well.
And did you know that fire and ice is the word associated?
Fire and ice, sacrifice. Always a good for understanding the language itself. I love it. So the rabbis, in discussing this, talk also about what does it mean to take these ashes from the morning. It means, by the way, it's the leftover. You might assume that the end of the day, you just want to throw it away. Everything, just like throw it out. You ever have days like that? You just want to throw them out? Right? You ever have days you just want it to be gone? Let it be. But somehow, these sacrifices that are left over, the ashes, have a sense of holiness themselves. Each day is to be lived till its fullest. Each day is to be understood as what transpired, and yet to know, to take the most out of it, to know that it's still sacred. Much like the tablets of the Ten Commandments that were broken. Remember the first set? Moses goes up to get the second set. What happened to those first set of the tablets? They put them into the ark because they still had holiness. Even when things are broken, they can be holy. Even days that aren't so good, they still can be holy. So the message of the Kohen here and why they have to institute this lottery is because who wouldn't want to start their day beginning to think about how does one look at the day before and how does one begin to look at this day? Each day with a promise and potential starting first thing in the morning, humility, work, sacrifice for God. It is some wonderful teachings of the Torah. We'll continue with Baruch Tiyeh. Thank you, Michael. We'll do Mornis Kaddish. Okay. Page 30, those, go ahead, Marilyn. All right, Noah, who are anybody else that's reciting Kaddish as well. And we'll count online those watching it to be our 10th. Those reciting Kaddish join together. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. Be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'b'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Bagalav izman kariv v'meru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal. Shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Damiran b'alma v'meru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'romav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen.
We continue with our call to worship the Baruch Hu on page 39. We rise. Yes. Yai, 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 ya, la, 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 ya, la, 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 la. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach achle olam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. You may be seated. Baruch atah melech haolam asher bidbaro mari mari. Uma ber yom uve laila, uma dil ben yom uve laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, Amari v'aravim. On page 40, Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shachveinu v'kumeinu, Nasiach bechukecha, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגד יומם ולילה. Lavatecha, al tasir mimenu leolamim, Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Join with me reciting the Shema on page 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, והיה אם שמוע תשמעו במצוותיו. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Top of page 44. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה בני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך פעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ובניך בקיים לפני משה, ציינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני. ושמוע צאתנו אל החיים ושלומך ביד עולם מופרס על סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו בכל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. We rise for Vishamru on page 46. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת,
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ביום דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב במרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו לאל אמין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה במרו Amen. Our silent Amidah, our meditation for this Friday night starts on page 47, the Hebrew, the English, or your own thoughts and prayers. Ose shalom bimromal, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. We continue with Kaddish Shalem on page 54. Yitkarav Kirash Me Rabba, V'alama Divra Kirute, V'amnich Machute, V'chayachonu V'yomechonu, Chayedechol Beit Yisrael, V'agalav Izman Karim, V'imru, Amen. Yehesh Me Rabba Mevorach, Le'alam Ulala Me'alamaya, Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmei dekucha v'rechu la'elam enko b'chata v'shirata dush b'chata v'nechamata damiran v'yalama v'imru Amen. Titkabal tzalotehonu v'tehon decha Yisrael kodam v'hon devishmaya v'imru Amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. We rise for Kiddush on page 55. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagofen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikrae kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, v'yahava uvratzon, enchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue with Aleinu on page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
You may be seated. Kaddish Yatom, the Warner's Kaddish, is a moment when we remember those who have gone before us. And this week we mourn the passing of Linda Bolmash Selesnik, stepmother of Andrew Selesnik. And we mourn the passing of Bruce Berkowitz, the husband of Marilyn and father of Noah and of Sherry as well. Our heart goes out. This is your community. We hope that you get strength and comfort from reciting these words of affirmation. Is there anybody else who has your yahrzeit? Okay, who stand up? Okay. All right. Your mother, blessed memory. Okay, we're going to invite you to rise at this time. And those of you at home, if you are reciting Kaddish, and we are able to be your minyan, your sacred community, we invite you to rise as well. And you'll find Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Those reciting Kaddish, join together. Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Amen. V'alma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Bagala v'zman kariv yimeru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehei
Yehei
Shmei
Shmei
Rabbah
Rabbah
Mevarach
Mevarach Le'olam
Le'olam
U'Olamei Olamaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei d'Kudashah B'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechmata Tamiran be'alma v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'meru. Amen.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'meru. Amen. May God establish His peace in the heavens, grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel, and all of humanity, as we say,
Amen.
Amen. Just to acknowledge, tomorrow morning we have Shira service at 9:30, beginning here in the sanctuary. Neshama service here in the sanctuary. 9:45. Shira here in the sanctuary.
Shira's here in the
9:30.
service.
Neshama service will be in the chapel. 9:45. Next Friday night, April 5th, Zamru Shabbat. Woo! There you go, with our own cantor Jenny Asher, and you'll hope you'll come. There's dinner afterwards, but you must have an RSVP for that. So RSVP, all of them. And Sunday, let's see, we have a contemplative circle. Next Shabbat, we'll have the Neshama service, we'll have Shira service, and a contemplative circle, 10:45. And on Sunday, Sacred Space by Chazan Mimi. That's not this Sunday, that's the following Sunday, April 7th. And just want to wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom. What are we going to finish up with?
Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru Amen. Hey, yada da da da, yada da da da, yada da 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 da, yada da yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
If you want to get a little bit of water, or if you want some lemonade, a little cookie, if you want to take some cookies to a family. Thank you for coming in. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Rabbi, nice job, very good, comfortable and beautiful and very ambitious and great.
I love getting compliments from him. It's the best. The best.
Is everybody coming tomorrow, or I can put a ride for you?
Music goes, there were ties here when I came here.
Can I get a ride from tomorrow morning? See you soon. I'm glad you gave us. Can I get a ride to the bus station?
Tonight? Yeah. Which bus?
I'm sorry.